Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1763B, and today's date is January 11th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Carpet Bombs Just Dropped, Incoming Booms, Timing. Before we get started, we know that Deep State is watching and monitoring. We've been listening to Q, and Q told us that 8chan is the only board Q will communicate on. 8chan allows you to post anonymously, so why don't you search anonymously using a VPN? Virtual Shield does not keep logs, will never sell your data to a third party. This winter month, Virtual Shield is offering 30% off all VPN plans and all premium add-on plans for as low as $3 per month. And don't forget about IdentiSafe, which allows the customer the ability to block off computer, microphone, and camera access. So check out the link below and start protecting yourself today, because we all have the right to remain private. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, Q has dropped more breadcrumbs, and it looks like there are more carpet bombs, more incoming booms, and it looks like Q has been setting everything up to get everyone prepared. And remember, Q has been telling us that they're going to be dropping carpet bombs before the mother of all bombs is dropped. And I wanted to start off with Judicial Watch here. Judicial Watch has been going after the Clintons, looking into everything, looking to get documentation. Had Clinton respond to certain questions from a judge. So now Judicial Watch has revealed that they have submitted to the court a plan for depositions for several top former government officials involved in the Clinton email scandal. Those would include Susan Rice, Ben Rhodes, Jacob Sullivan, and FBI official E.W. Priestab. The organization has been demanding documents that should be available to the public about Clinton's scheme to keep government email secret for several years already. The new plan for depositions and other discovery is that the latest development in the July 2014 lawsuit was filed after the State Department refused to respond to the Freedom of Information request for information about talking points given to Rice by the White House or other agencies about the terror attack on U.S. assets in Benghazi in 2012. Judicial Watch said it will update the federal court regarding the requested deposition of Hillary Clinton and Cheryl Mills at the end of the 16-week discovery period. Now, the discovery plan is a response to a December 6, 2018 ruling by Judge Royce Lamberth that said that the State Department and Department of Justice must work with Judicial Watch on answers to questions in three areas: whether Secretary Clinton's use of private email server was intended to stymie the Freedom of Information Act request, whether the State Department's intent to settle the case in late 2014 and early 2015 amounted to bad faith, and whether the State Department has adequately searched for records responsive to Judicial Watch's request. The judge at the time expressed his opinion that Clinton's private email strategy was one of the gravest modern offenses to government transparency. She set up the private system and used it while she was Secretary of State. When she left office, she reportedly had her own lawyers decide what needed to be turned over to the government. The result was that tens of thousands of official emails were concealed from the public. And also, there was evidence that she had classified material on the unsecure system, which was an egregious violation of policy and law. So Judicial Watch is going after all these individuals that have knowledge of this, and they want to take their deposition. They're digging deeper and deeper into the Clinton email scandal. Now, what's very interesting about this is, remember when Q told us that Sessions has Huber and also has someone in the background doing the legwork? Now, if you look at Judicial Watch and you follow what they've been doing, they're doing a lot of the legwork. They're requesting Freedom of Information documentation. They're having depositions. They're appearing in front of judges. It seems like they're doing a lot of work. Now, it would be very interesting if Judicial Watch was the body of lawyers that were doing the work behind the scenes, but really they're out front in the open. Now, of course, we don't know this for sure, but that would be very interesting. Now, with the wall, we have Jim Acosta from CNN. He was out there trying to make a point on how walls don't work. And it looks like what he was doing was showing that walls actually do work. His whole report turn the whole thing around, and everyone has been making fun of him. Actually, Trump came out and he does what he does best. He trolls the mainstream media. So he was trolling Jim Acosta. He came out and he tweeted, "Dear Diary," and under that was Jim Acosta and his whole report on the wall. And this is very funny. Trump also tweeted out, because the mainstream media is out there saying that the wall is not being built, nothing's being done. He tweeted out the following: "The fake news media keeps saying we haven't built any new wall. Below is a section just completed on the border. Anti-climbing feature included, very high, strong, and beautiful. Also many miles already renovated and in service." So he's letting everyone know, and this is a picture of the wall showing that it is being built, that the mainstream media is reporting fake news once again. We have Senator Lindsey Graham. He's out there saying, listen, Trump should declare a national emergency in order to fund the construction of the U.S.-Mexico border wall. And he's sounding the alert. He's letting everyone know that this has to be done. He put out a news release on this, and he's pushing the agenda of Trump. Now, is Trump going to declare a national emergency just yet? No, I don't think so. I think he's holding back. He's still dealing with Congress, still putting out the information of why we need the border wall. And I believe the timing is just not there yet. And I think he has Graham out there continually saying this to get the American public used to this. The law is on his side. The time is on his side. And what he's doing here, he's bringing the people of the United States over to his side. The mainstream media is getting caught up in all this, and what they're doing is not even making sense anymore. And they're trying to make sense of it, but it's backfiring. Now, Trump came out and he said he's going to ease immigration. And what he's doing right now is he's going to make it easier for H-1B holders to become citizens. He tweeted out the following: H-1B holders in the United States can rest assured that changes are soon coming, which will bring both simplicity and certainty to your stay, including a potential path to citizenship. We want to encourage talented and highly skilled people to pursue career options in the U.S. So we can see that many of the mainstream media, many of those people that are completely against Trump, they never saw this coming at all. Trump, because of the shutdown, he's saying that he's not going to attend the Davos Economic Forum. This is the globalist forum. And what's very interesting is that Macron, well, he's not going to attend either. But Trump tweeted out the following: because of the Democrats' intransigence on border security and their great importance of safety for our nation, I am respectfully canceling my very important trip to Davos, Switzerland, for the World Economic Forum. My warmest regards and apologies to the WEF. Now, like we said, Macron is also not going to attend, saying that he has a very busy schedule, which most likely includes the debates and trying to control the yellow vests that want him out of government. So he's very, very busy doing that. Now, we see that the troops, the equipment, they're all being withdrawn from Syria. Now, remember what Bolton was saying. He was out there telling everyone that we're not going to be withdrawing. We're not going to be doing anything like this. Remember, all these people are in these positions for a particular reason. And I believe Bolton's time most likely is almost up. They're in these positions to allow Trump to do everything else in the background while these people keep the mainstream media busy. Remember, they all know that Bolton is a neocon, and they know, and they do believe what he says. I mean, going back, he told everyone that we're not leaving until Iran leaves. False. He told everyone that we're going to be staying in Syria to protect the Kurds. False again. Bolton is a neocon. Trump has been telling everyone we're removing the troops. The equipment is being pulled out. There was a convoy, about 10 armored vehicles and some other trucks that drove into Iraq from Syria. So they're bringing out the equipment. The troops are going to be coming out. They're making deals. They're setting everything up, and they will be leaving. France is going to follow in the United States' footsteps. They'll be leaving. You'll see the UK leave and the rest of the coalition forces, because what are they going to do there? The US is out. They don't have that support. They're not going to stay. The entire deep state plan has just been flushed down the toilet. And it's been flushed down the toilet in the entire Middle East. Their system, as we know it today, to keep all these countries using the dollar, to make sure that all countries purchase their oil using the dollar, is coming to an end. Countries will allow other countries to purchase their oil using whatever currency they want. Now remember, the dollar is a central bank dollar. This is not the people's dollar that we wanted. This is not the system that we would put into place. This is a central bank system that was created back in the 70s. They took us off the gold standard. That was actually the people's system. That was the founding fathers' system. And they took us off that standard. They took us off that economic plan. And they brought us into their own. Yes, it started back in 1913, and they were planning on this for a very, very long time. So we're going to be going back to the people's plan. The people want a completely different economic system. We, the people, want a system where we're not enslaved to a central bank. We, the people, want a system where we're not taxed because we owe interest on the money that we're earning. We, the people, do not want to repay a central bank. We, the people, do not want to be in debt. Their system is coming to an end. And if you look at what the Patriots are doing right now, it's just not about the United States and raising or lowering interest rates. It's about removing the power out of the Middle East. Because once you do that, and countries are allowed to flourish, countries are allowed to control themselves, countries are allowed to say, listen, you can buy our oil using the dollar, the euro, or gold, or anything else. That takes the power away from the central bank. So it's about controlling the Fed, bringing the Fed down here, removing their power out in the Middle East, changing and reorganizing the World Trade Organization, the World Bank, putting key players in certain positions. And this is a coordinated effort to take the whole system down. It's not just one thing. Let's get into Q's post. Now, Q posted about 3 different posts today, and this is 2668. And Q said, boom, 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 boom. There are 4 booms. We'll be talking about the 4 booms in just a minute. And this might be one of the booms that we're about to review. Now, Q has told us that they're going to be dropping carpet bombs, and this is to wake the people up. Carpet bomb after carpet bomb after carpet bomb, to get people used to the idea, to bring the information out into the open, and to get people educated in what is really going on here. Once all this is laid out and all the carpet bombs have exploded, the mother of all bombs is going to come out. So this is coming out from the Epoch Times, and this is transcripts of Lisa Page's closed-door testimony. And this had to do with the Spygate scandal. So transcripts of 2 closed-door testimonies by Lisa Page, the former Assistant General Counsel at the FBI, have provided new insights into the actions of the FBI Department of Justice and others, including CIA Director John Brennan. And this is regarding the investigation into Donald Trump. Included in the transcripts provided to Epoch Times is information suggesting Brennan was aware of the so-called Steele dossier in early August 2016, and that he included information regarding the dossier in a briefing given to Senator Harry Reid, a Democrat of Nevada. Other key points in Page's testimony before Congress are the following. The FBI appears to have considered investigating President Trump for obstruction of justice both before and after FBI Director James Comey was fired. Page says the Department of Justice refused to pursue gross negligence charges against Hillary Clinton over her use of private email server to send classified information. So right there and then, Page just admitted the Department of Justice refused to pursue gross negligence. covering for Hillary. FBI agent Michael Gaeta, head of the Eurasian Crime Squad, who received the dossier from former MI6 spy Steele in July 2016, is referred to in the transcript as Steele's handler. The FBI maintained a previously unknown verification file for the Steele dossier. Congressional investigators did not previously know of its existence. John Carlin, the head of the Department of Justice National Security Division, was kept abreast of the FBI's investigative activities through contact with then Deputy Director McCabe. Page testified that she joined the team of Special Counsel Robert Mueller around May 18, 2017, and that the FBI agent Peter Strzok was considered for inclusion shortly thereafter. Page's role was to bridge the gap and transition between what we as a team knew and the evidence that we had gathered to date on the collusion investigation and sort of imparting that knowledge to the new special counsel team. One particular interesting bit of information is that Page read the memos written by then FBI Director James Comey almost in real time. As she stated in a testimony, I review most of them within a day or on the same day that they were created. According to Page, others who were privy to Comey's memos included 4 additional FBI officials, Jim Rubicki, Mr. McCabe, Mr. Gaddis, and maybe Mr. Bowditch. So all of this has been released to the public to let everyone know what really was going on. And when we read this report, and when we read the text, and we read all this information, the unredacted information, it seems that Congress, they might know a lot more than they're letting on. Because you can see all this information, and they've been privy to a lot more information. So I believe they know a lot more than just this. Now, is this a boom? Well, this could just be a carpet bomb where Q, the Patriot team, is letting the world know what has been going on and letting this information out very, very slowly. And I believe there's going to be a lot more carpet bombs leading up to the mother of all bombs, which is the declassification. So there are 4 booms. What are they going to be? Well, a lot of Anons are speculating. They're saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and we'll get into that in just a minute, might be one boom, where she might resign, or maybe she passed away, and maybe she'll be replaced. Another boom might be the wall funding. Another boom might be the Mueller probe might be ending, and the other boom might be a declassification. Now, again, there could be completely different booms that Q is talking about, but these are the main topics that have come up. Let's move on to post 2669. Now, Q gave us a picture of an airport, and it looks like it is in China. And under this, Q says the following: awaiting VIP arrival. What senior U.S. officials arriving in China? Purpose Q. Now, this picture matches up to the Shanghai, China, Pudong International Airport. Who is coming? What is the purpose? Not enough information to figure this one out. Now, a lot of people speculated that it could be Pompeo, but if we look at his itinerary, it doesn't say he's going to China. It could be Feinstein, where she's going there to cover her tracks, because as we know, she has been involved with China. Or it could be some other person that is going to work on the trade deals. We don't know exactly who it is as of yet. We need a little bit more information, I do believe, to figure this one out. Q put up post 2670, put everything up from post 2653 about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, about all her laws and what she's all about and who is really managing her treatment. And under this, it says, at what point is it mathematically impossible? The very next day, Red Castle, Green Castle, public access to intel. Now, once again, Red Castle, Green Castle referred to the Army Corps of Engineers, which is Red Castle. Green Castle is Green Castle, North Carolina. We know this has to do with building the wall. Other Anons say, well, this could be color coding, and it's Ruth, which is red, Bader might be blue, and Ginsburg might be green. And blue stands for cardiac arrest, respiratory arrest, when someone becomes severely confused, not alert, or shows signs of stroke, sudden and severe drop in blood pressure. Does this mean this is what it is? No, not at this time. Now, what's very interesting about all of this, Q follows up to this post with post 2671 and says, if a woman is selected as a nominee, does that eliminate the wrap-up smear RE sexual assault? What other tactics might be planned to block and or force name removal? Why is the Senate important? Who controls the Senate? 53 to 47. Enjoy the show. So from this post, Q seems like they're saying that they're getting ready to bring a woman in to become a Supreme Court justice and do all the smear tactics completely disappear if it is a woman. Well, during the time that Kavanaugh was being nominated, there was also Amy Coney Barrett, and they started the smear campaign against her. Now, it's a little bit different when it's a woman. Here, they were saying, this is July 2018 from Slate, that she was part of a religious group that looks like a cult. And Q says, what other tactics might they use? Well, once again, they could use the religious tactic, or they can use that she's promiscuous, she used drugs or alcohol, or her religious beliefs. And if she has children, they could say that she abused them in some way. And I think Q is getting us to think about all of this because it seems that Q is pointing towards a woman nominee. Now, is it going to be Amy Coney Barrett? Maybe, maybe not. But Q is just letting us know that this will be the next smear campaign. Now, Q is saying to us, what happens if we select a new nominee, which allows me to think that there's something wrong with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, again, in my other reports, I said it's very strange how all this came about, and it seems like no one is wishing her well. So is she dead? Is she alive through the drugs that they're using and the different things? Now, as soon as Q posted all of this, what happened? All of a sudden, the mainstream media came out with news articles. And this is how they read. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg will return to work. No further medical treatment needed. Completely cured. That's from NBC News. Ruth Bader Ginsburg shows no evidence of remaining disease. Supreme Court says. CNN. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has no remaining cancer. Supreme Court says. Washington Post. And if we go back to the post 2670, Q says the very next day. At what point is it mathematically impossible? Seems like it's a Q proof. So here we have it where Q is telling us that they're thinking about a different nominee. They're thinking about a woman. Telling us to think about the different tactics they're going to use. And the mainstream media is out there telling us that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is absolutely fine, but she'll be working from home. Now, we know the deep state needs to keep her alive or give the illusion that she's alive, because once she passes or she decides to resign, it's game over for them. And I think what they're doing is they might be stalling for some time. But as time passes, what's going to happen here? They're going to have to present Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They're going to have to show her, and either show her working in her room, in her house, or in the hospital. And this is what they might be doing right now. They might be hooking her up to all these different things, giving the drugs, just to show that she is doing stuff, but in the background, they're really controlling her. So we'll have to see how this all plays out, because this is very interesting, because Q is already leading us down another path, and we have the mainstream media leading us in a different direction, making us believe that she is absolutely fine. But what we do know is that Q, the Patriots, they are dropping carpet bombs right now, preparing everyone for the mother of all bombs. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.